Hey everybody, Alan, Bananas at Large, here in the San Rafael store in our beautiful acoustic room with my friend Joe Satriani.
Hi everybody.
And we're going to do a quick chat about a couple of really cool guitars. The first one, I think, is pretty iconic. This is what we believe the original prototype for your signature model guitar.
Yeah.
So Joe gave me this guitar and it was more about this signature, which we'll get into in a minute. And then I started to dig around a little more and he started to tell me some stories and I started to reach out to Ibanez in Japan. And what's really cool about this is we believe this is not serialized. This actually says on it 88 for the year 0001. This is the first guitar that Ibanez handed Joe to start their long relationship that they've had. This was handed to you in Japan on a Mick Jagger tour, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. That would have been February, March of 1988. And I'm thinking now, this is what I played during my little segment when I played Satch Boogie and Midnight. Good thing it was white because I remember I was in the dark. I had to walk down this long path from above the drums all the way down to the front of stage. While I'm playing Midnight, I remember thinking, don't fall. Good thing this guitar is white because it helped me see what was going on. The original necks,
Right.
they were really small, and I have a theory about that. The theory is that for a long time, I was playing this 54 Strat that someone had done a lot to. Green, translucent, sunburst, gold-tinted maple neck, shaved a bit. And so I had played that a lot, and I kept thinking, I want something like that. But this one really, I think, epitomizes how we started out. So it must have been that very first one.
And from my understanding, this is a 540 body that's been modified slightly.
Yeah, you can see it here.
Yeah.
This is, they thought they'd try to do a really big scoop there because I wanted more access out there.
But a Roadstar neck.
Yes, that's right.
Right. Which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I started with. I think that was the guitar that Rich Lasner from the Ben Salem Ibanez office there sent to me. And that's how we started out, working with that Roadstar neck. And then we did so many crazy things. And then we changed pots, metal, pickups, size of the frets. Compound radius thing got started with this guitar. Yeah, wow, what a trip. And then there's this, which is...
Okay, well, let's get to that in a second, because there's actually this other story you told me that even doesn't have to do with this, but just part of the lineage. You told me a story about Bill Ron Cumming after we had sort of gotten through this, and then I think they sent you another 3 set, is what I understand, of prototypes, that he actually brought a clay block.
Yes.
So that you could actually finish the body shape?
Yeah. We were, I'm pretty sure it was Hyde Street Studios in San Francisco, and we were recording Flying in Blue Dream.
Okay.
And we were getting sort of frustrated with how we really going to get together to decide this lower horn here. And Bill was like, I'm just coming out with some clay. That's how we're going to do it. So it looked like a cake almost, like, except without any frosting. But we just sat there and we carved it until it looked really cool, not like anything else, and distinguished itself from the 540, but kept all this cool stuff.
That was such a cool story. I wanted to capture it, even though it's not this guitar, but it lends to the provenance of the history of you and your relationship with them. And
yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, how many years have you been with Ibanez now?
Can somebody count?
Right?
It's decades, right?
The gray hair is showing. All right, so now you've had this guitar. You're now at a studio. Tell me the story on the signatures.
So this would have been a backup guitar because the primary guitar I had was what we called Black Dog, and that was the black version. And we used that mainly because it had most of the elements that we changed that we liked. Radius of the fretboard, the frets, what we were doing with the pots and the pickups from DiMarzio. So this was the backup guitar. Now, it obviously got played a lot because there's a lot of buckle rash. When I used to wear the guitar a lot lower. And then you can see where I tested out some metallic pens that, I was using a lot on tour. But I think this wound up being the one that didn't get played that much during the Flying in Blue Dream tour. Because I had a Donnie Hunt guitar to play, I had 2 chrome guitars to play, and Black Dog, and they were more about what I was looking to project in terms of art and aesthetic of what we could do with the guitars. So then we fast forward. This one winds up being the backup. It winds up getting stored a lot. And I wind up recording the Extremist album in Los Angeles during the overdub stages on that record one. And it just so happens Kiss and Toto are in there all the time and recording, finishing up their albums. And one day I'm talking to Gene and Paul, and I thought, oh, I should get them to sign a guitar. But the guitars I have chrome, you can't sign a chrome guitar. And the Black Dog has got scribbles all over it. So I asked Mike Manning, my tech, I said, Mike, do you have a guitar like that's got nothing on it that we're not using? And he said, well, that white one, we carry it around and we haven't been playing it since, 88 so much. So he pulled out this one, and it took all of 30 seconds? When they were coming in to finish mixes, they would come in fully dressed because they were meeting with their costume people and their photographers. Nice. So they weren't casual. So I'd show up, just casual looking like this, and they'd be in full black leather and the whole thing,
And everything.
And everything. So it was like, I'd be looking up to Gene. Mr. Simmons, could you sign this for
so
me?
So this was signed while in
the actual music room.
That's a kind of coolest thing.
Yeah. They were across the hall, and I walked them over, and they just signed this, and it was just really cool.
So this one says, to Joe, all the best, Gene Simmons. This is my favorite one, though. To Joe, my alien hero, Paul Stanley. Because he was, the star child. And how cool is that?
This should be in the home of a total Kiss fanatic,
Yeah, I think this is, if we really come back, this is the start of the JS. This is also historically for you, as humble as you are, I know, but come on, this is an iconic instrument in your history and lineage. And then on top of that, what a cool, autographed, story to go with it.
Yeah. Ever since they signed it, I never played it because I was afraid I'd rub it off.
Right. Listen, everybody, this is a very cool piece. It's up on the Ibanez.com site right now. Here, let's get a little close up of those signatures. Look at that. You can almost feel the mojo on that. So this is the Joe Satriani prototype of the JS models, signed by Kiss. Check out Ibanez.com. You can own it today. Thanks, everybody, for watching.